It is time to leave your worries outside and laugh with us inside the Treehouse. I'm Dan O'Malley. He's Trey Trenholm. Today is Monday, April 14th, 2025. Happy to have you inside the Treehouse. Oh, it's the beginning of a new week, and I'm starting out a little bum. I got a bum wing, Trey. You can see across the studio there. I look like I'm wearing like one shoulder pad on one side of my body. It's it's probably melted by now, but I'd probably take it out. That's my ice pack on my bum shoulder. I now have a bum shoulder.
What'd you do?
Man, I don't know. That's the worst thing about getting older is you get injured and you don't know from what. Or, and this is my favorite thing. You'll do something that actually started the process of an injury, but it doesn't complete the process of the injury until you do something seemingly innocuous like sneeze or get out of bed or just bend over to tie a shoe. And that's when all of a sudden you can't walk. When in reality, it was because you were moving or, lugging pave stones around the backyard or something. That's what started it. But then you just go one morning and you're just a puddle of jello on the floor. So I don't know what I did to my shoulder. I just know it hurts. It's hurt for like a month. It feels like when I jacked up my rotator cuff when I was like 14, that's what it feels like, except it won't go away because I keep doing little things to re-aggravate it.
Well, there's a good chance if you it jacked up your rotator cuff before that this is now coming back to haunt you.
I know, but Trey, when I jacked up my rotator cuff before, oh my God, that was 30 years ago. Oh, sweet Jesus.
Did you have it repaired then?
No, it was fine. It really wasn't even that bad of an injury. At the time, I heard it playing football and didn't know it until I went to baseball practice and picked up a baseball to try to throw it, and it buckled me to my knees. That's when I realized, oh, now I know what a rotator cuff is. All he had me do was he gave me an anti-inflammatory and said, rest it for 2 weeks. You should be fine. It was an inflamed rotator cuff with tendonitis. That's kind of what it feels like now. Unfortunately, our current medical system doesn't allow me to self-diagnose and just say, I know what the problem is. Can we try this before you charge me thousands of dollars to meet my deductible for the year? Just give me an anti-inflammatory and let's see if that works. If it doesn't, then I'll come give you buckets of money.
Well, first of all, there's a wonderful anti-inflammatory called ibuprofen. It's over the counter.
I think I'm kind of numb, unfortunately, to that.
So let me ask you the first question. How long has this been bothering you?
About a month.
Okay. How much rest have you been giving it?
I've been trying to give it a lot of rest. I haven't even done any weights at the gym in like 3 weeks. So that's a big thing, but I've done other things to aggravate it. Like the other day, I put on a shirt and that hurt really, really bad because I see how I can't even move my shoulder past here right now.
Can you raise your
Yeah, I can raise it. It's stiff, but I can do it.
Oh, that's
also because at least it's probably stiff because I had the ice pack on it. But yeah,
typically if you can't raise your arm above your head, that's rotator cuff.
I can feel it. Like it hurts right here when I make the L with my arm. That looks like I'm about to testify before Congress. That hurts when I hold it in that position. I can raise it up, and it doesn't hurt, but I can feel it.
You probably got a torn labrum or some stuff floating around in there that, a little orthoscopic surgery, get that cleaned up.
Why are you taking me straight to surgery, Dr. Trenholm? Come on, Bones. Can we do like a little non-invasive work first?
You can all day long, but at a certain point, especially if you were a baseball player, you gave your shoulder a lot of wear and tear throwing the ball. And so chances are you've got some loose cartilage, and really at the end of the day, it doesn't disappear. It just has to be cleaned up.
I just hate thinking about what you said. Like, you probably just have something floating around in there, because things just floating around in space have never caused any problems ever.
Well, unfortunately, the human joints, especially the shoulder, which is just a remarkable joint, but
Mhm.
the nature's padding, which is cartilage, um, kind of like every other padding, after a while becomes worn, haggard, and just starts breaking off in pieces.
Oh, sweet mother of God. So here's my new. This is what I'm going to try before
Okay.
going to the doctor. Okay. What I'm going to do is, because when I was 14 and went to the sports med doctor, he gave me an anti-inflammatory called naproxen. I still remember it.
Mhm.
So what I'm going to do is, I believe the over the counter equivalent to naproxen, the anti-inflammatory, is Aleve. So what I'm going to do is go get a bucket of Aleve and self-medicate for like a week for sure, maybe 2, and just take that
So,
and see how it does.
well, if you really want to be smart about it, there's something else you should do, which is
What?
go get a sling and put your arm in it and reduce the motion of your shoulder as much as possible.
I think I can do that. Although I think my wife's going to look at me and say, "Oh God, I married a puffin man."
Yeah, she's gonna do that anyways.
Oh, come on. That's not. Damn it, you're right.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you love guns or hunting, you're going to love Defender Outdoors. Defender Outdoors Shooting Center is 43,000 square feet of guns, gun range, and gun fun. Firearms, ammo, apparel, accessories, and more. Have a bachelor party, birthday, or team building event? All-inclusive packages available for endless entertainment. Training classes are added weekly, and private instruction is always available. Come see why Defender has been voted the best gun range in North Texas 5 years in a row. Visit us at defenderoutdoors.com. Defender Outdoors. Are you a defender?
You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Defender Outdoors. Defender Outdoors is Fort Worth's premier indoor gun range. They are open to the public, but membership unlocks exclusive features at an affordable price at Defender Outdoors, along with a huge retail space stocked with all your favorite brands of guns, ammo, gear, optics, knives, and more. If you want to feel like John Wick at the Armorer, you go to Defender Outdoors in Fort Worth. And when you shop in-store and online at defenderoutdoors.com, use the code TREEHOUSE to unlock special discounts. Use the code TREEHOUSE to unlock special discounts at Defender Outdoors in Fort Worth. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan O'Malley. He's Trey Trenholm. Today is Monday, April 14th, 2025. Enough complaining out of me. Let's step into some serious, stupid news. There's been a huge spate of teachers going absolutely crazy with screwing their students lately. And this is the one, while they all stand out on their own, this is the one that stood out especially far for me. Look, I talk for a living, but this story has actually left me speechless. A teacher at an elite Catholic boys' school in Ohio admitted she had sex with a 17-year-old student and sent him nudes. And that's not even the most shocking part. Are you ready for this? When her husband filed for divorce, she blamed him for neglect. All right, I've gathered a few thoughts. Being cheated on is an awful feeling, but there are degrees to it. Your wife banging a student is the worst. Anyone else in the school would have been way better. Like, it wouldn't have been as bad if she had hooked up with the principal or the school resource officer. Hell, even the janitor would have been better than a student. Was the lunch lady available? That might have spiced things up. Or the woodshop teacher, for obvious reasons. But is there anything scarier than your teacher wife hooking up with a student?
I mean, you had the story a couple weeks ago where the teacher was hooking up with multiple students and making him wear the scream mask.
The only thing scarier than your teacher wife hooking up with a student is her getting railed by multiple students at the same time while wearing scream masks,
Yeah.
which also happened recently. Trey, your thoughts?
I mean, you know, the inner child in me, you know, goes, well, why couldn't any of my hot teachers been like this? You know, I think of the Pete Davidson sketch on SNL and, you know, go, hey, good on you. But the adult in me goes, oh, this is awful. You know, bad teacher. Although he's 17, technically. Most states you're an adult. But yeah, the husband,
it's still an authority position, a position of power, possibly taking advantage of someone a little on the naive side.
I mean, did you know a lot of 17-year-old guys that, you know, wouldn't have loved to have been taken advantage of by their teacher?
Yeah. I
The
mean,
hot ones.
yeah, I still remember in high school hearing about was it Mary Kay Letourneau? And I think there might have been a couple of other very isolated instances where a teacher hooked up with a student. And yeah, most of us in high school, you know, juniors, seniors, like raise our hands. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah. As long as it's not Mrs. Reynolds, my AP English teacher, then I'm open. But to go and blame the husband afterwards is some truly next level sociopathic gaslighting type stuff going on.
I mean, you know,
well, my husband neglected me, so I decided to screw the football team.
I mean, maybe he wasn't being attentive to her needs. Maybe he wasn't asking her about her day.
Yeah, because that's what a 17-year-old's going to do.
You know, maybe he made her, you know, pick where they had to eat.
Well, it's easy when all you want is a Happy Meal. You just want some dino nuggets.
Just Chuck E. Cheese all day.
Yeah. You want to jump in the ball pit with me?
Oh, seems a little crowded, honey.
Oh, but it really is troubling, the fact that this teacher has sex with a 17-year-old student, then accused her husband of neglect when he filed for divorce. Wow.
Yeah, that's man, it's just an extreme version of things I've been through before, you know, where I've got upset with someone I was dating because I said I'd had a bad day and she didn't ask, you know, why, what happened, was I okay, anything. And but then it was my fault, you know, because I should have just told her what was going on. And how dare I expect her to ask
About your day?
Uh-huh.
I don't feel like you were in the wrong on that one. I feel like, hey, honey, how was your day? It isn't just a good foundational thing to have in a relationship. It's just polite.
Well,
Hi, how are you?
In the course of conversation, if someone, you know, goes, yeah, I'm having a really rough day, you go, you know, what, you okay? What's going on? Anything I can do to help? Just, you know, standard things you think when you're dating, not, you know, 5 hours later. Oh, I'm just getting home from going out with my girlfriend. How's your night?
This is my favorite type of person. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
You come home and you say, whew, man, I've had a really rough day. And her response is, I had a rough day too. Let me tell you about it. And doesn't shut up for half an hour about her rough day and doesn't even remember the fact that you started the conversation about your rough day.
I didn't know you knew my ex.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you would like even more Treehouse, you should subscribe to Treehouse Plus today. Treehouse Plus has bonus content, subscriber-only episodes, including video, and it's all available at patreon.com/treehouseonair, Patreon, patreon.com/treehouseonair, and subscribe to Treehouse Plus today. Back inside the Treehouse, I'm Dan, he's Trey. Today is Monday, April 14th, 2025. Trey, are you ready for the baggage wars?
Sure. Who's got the most emotional or what? I'm going to win that one.
No, like actual baggage, luggage wars. Maybe I should have been more specific.
Like airlines?
Yes.
Yes.
We talked about this last month. Southwest Airlines ended its bags fly free policy, and now other airlines are swooping in to steal those pissed off customers. Delta Airlines is directly targeting Southwest customers by offering elite status for switching loyalty to Delta instead. Southwest A-list members will be elevated to Delta's gold medallion status, which comes with benefits such as free checked bag each way, priority security line access, and priority boarding. Frontier Airlines also announced a promotion offering customers a package that included free checked baggage. This is exactly what we said was going to happen.
But I believe the devil's in the details with this, because it's a free check bag, because you can only, your carry-on can only be so, like, are they talking about checked on like your carry-on?
For Delta, they're talking about a free checked bag each way, plus priority security line access and priority boarding. Frontier announced a promotion offering customers a package that included free checked baggage. So you're right. Neither one of those mentions carry-ons, which carry-ons is a separate thing that most of the airlines have said they are going to start adopting the European rules on that, which is a smaller carry-on. They're just, so far, they're targeting that free checked bag policy that Southwest used to have. Now, with the Frontier thing, it says this is a promotion that they announced. So since it's a promotion, that may not be permanent. The Delta thing looks to be a permanent thing going after Southwest priority customers.
I mean, I think Spirit's going to get involved.
No. You pay for everything on Spirit. They're not changing their model.
They're going to elevate you that they'll actually get your bag where you're going. I mean,
yeah, I'm surprised that's not already a fee, because in my mind, Spirit would charge you a fee to put the bag on the plane. If you want to get the bag back when you get to your destination, that would be an additional fee. It's not, but it wouldn't surprise me if they ever went that route, especially since they're going through bankruptcy stuff. Now, keep in mind, the bags fly free policy that Southwest ended did not go over well with its customers. Southwest has received a lot of criticism for the decision to end its policy of free checked baggage, but Southwest Airlines has remained insistent that it will move forward with the new policy, no matter how much criticism the company receives from angry customers. Look, this is interesting. I support not kowtowing to a few angry Yelp reviewers, but if you've managed to piss off all your customers and you don't care, that's bad business. Now, granted, I don't have a business degree and I've never been CEO of a Fortune 500 company, but I know stupid, and this is stupid.
Well, it remains to be seen if their numbers go down. But I'm sure one of the things Southwest, is counting on is, especially like Dallas, for example. I don't care how mad people get at Southwest. Flying out of Love Field is far more convenient if you live inside the city of Dallas than it is going to DFW. And that's, you can, huff and puff and everything else, but at the end of the day, people are still going to fly Southwest because of convenience.
For that specific thing, yes. However, so many people live around Dallas, right? They live in the suburbs around it. Like if you live in Plano, it's actually easier to go to DFW and might take less time than it would be to drive to Love Field. You live in Fort Worth, same thing. The other thing this opens is, and I don't think they can do it because of ordinances and local laws, is would there ever be an opportunity for Alliance Airport north of Fort Worth to open itself up a little bit and be a little bit more like Love Field and try to take on some of that regional carrier stuff so people aren't driving from Watauga to Dallas?
Does Alliance even have like commercial flights?
I think it's all private, but I mean, you got infrastructure there. They can do it.
They could. And I believe wasn't there an airline that tried it and it failed? I mean,
I don't even know.
JSX has become pretty popular as kind of a upper tier way to travel. I mean, there's
what is
small
JSX?
Airlines, huh?
What is JSX?
It's a startup airline where they fly. I think it's MD-80s, but they're all like first class seats. Like there's only like 80 seats on a plane, I think, and they go, like Dallas to Love Field is one of their big routes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I mean Dallas to Vegas.
Got it. Okay.
But they fly out of Love Field, and they seem to be doing pretty well. I mean, over our lives, we've seen a number of airlines come and go that have tried to like take on Southwest and that model.
Maybe that is a good answer. Is you basically have three types of airlines, right? You have the riffraff, which would be your Spirit Airlines and your other, low budget carriers, where God only knows what's going to happen on those flights. Then you have the middle upper, like the ones you're talking about, that it's nice, but it's not quite Emirates nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then Emirates would be like the uber luxury where you've got the bar and the showers and the beds and Jennifer Aniston is in the seat next to you type of stuff. Because that middle road where Southwest typically occupies, where a bunch of these other ones, I think they're going to have to decide which way do they want to go. Do they want to go cheap or do they want to go a little higher end?
Well, and this will be a really good litmus test business wise, because Southwest is basically now controlled by a large hedge fund type, operation.
Mm-hmm. And it comes with all the hedge fundy type ideas, like pissing off your customers and saying, you know what, this policy we've had for years that you all love, F you.
And if customers actually take the FU to saying, okay, we're going to fly another carrier, sooner or later they'll change their policy. But I'm sure what they're betting on is that they'll ride out the storm and people will keep flying Southwest.
Don't let him do it, people. Don't let him grip you so tightly by the scrot.
Well, it's where it's risky is Southwest has not exactly had a stellar, like let's say last 5 years. I mean, they're a computer problem away from having an absolute meltdown.
You've given me an idea.
And they've got to update from Windows 98.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
It is time to advertise right here inside the Treehouse. Sponsorship opportunities are available. If you're interested, just shoot us an email, treehouseonair@gmail.com. That's treehouseonair@gmail.com to advertise right here inside the Treehouse. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan O'Malley. He is Trey Trenholm. Today is Monday, April 14th, 2025. Already been a lot of excitement in today's show, a lot of interesting moments. And this is going to be one that stands out from the rest. All right. Trey, have you heard of the gay beam machine? It's not from the same company that did the mystery machine from Scooby-Doo. This is a very different Just FYI.
The gay beam machine. I have not heard of that.
Prepare to be enlightened, Trey.
All right.
A Christian nationalist pastor named Andrew Isker made an inflammatory claim on his podcast that he calls the #1 Christian nationalist podcast in the world.
Isn't Christian nationalist another way for white supremacist?
You'd have to ask Pastor Isker, whatever it is. Anyway, here he is to tell you, Trey, about the gay beam machine.
Patriot Act was passed, right? I mean, give me a break. Like, I had to be molested at the airport to go to Florida, right? Just to get on an airplane, because I'm not going to go through the gay beam machine.
At this point, I wasn't sure if he was just kind of joking around and like being kind of silly on his #1 white Christian nationalist podcast in the world type of thing. But then he goes deeper.
An airplane, because I'm not going to go through the gay beam machine. I didn't let CJ do it. I wouldn't let him do it. Said, you're getting patted down too, buddy. I don't want them turning you gay. It appears having a guy touch you all over the place is on its face seems worse, but you don't really know what those things are doing to you. So
where the imaging goes, or what?
Because it's like
what they're doing in the back room.
They can just take a picture of me
sort of
naked. Like no
virtual adrenochrome system back there.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. So
the gay beam machine. Really?
So we're now questioning the technology of X-ray.
Yes.
And other imaging devices that I'm sure you'd be happy to have if you were hurt in the hospital. Mm-hmm. But and
this just sounds like the excuse they're going to use when they get busted with another man. It's not my fault. You caught me kissing Kyle.
I mean,
it's that gay beam machine at the airport.
That mustache, that guy kind of looks like he you could find him in a gay bar on a Sunday afternoon. But in fact, most people would find having someone else touch you all over would be far more violating than the gay beam machine.
Yeah, and he touches on that in here by saying, I'll back it up here. Gay beam machine.
Go to Florida, right? Just to get on an airplane, because I'm not going to go through the gay beam machine.
So he's not going to go through the gay beam machine because he thinks the machine will turn you gay. But there's still the problem, Trey, like you brought up, of the physical pat down.
I didn't let CJ do it. I wouldn't let him do it. Said, you're getting patted down too, buddy. I don't want them turning you gay. It appears having a guy touch you all over the place is on its face seems worse.
See, he's truly analyzing here.
But you don't really know what those things are doing to you. So
where the imaging goes, or what? Doing.
Yeah. So he's saying that being touched is better, but it's sort of like the better bad choice. He doesn't want to be turned instantly gay by the gay beam machine at the airport. So he's electing for the physical molestation by TSA agents. And he still thinks that even that is dangerous territory, because that can also turn you gay. But it's a better choice than them having the digital images of your naked body. And that's the other aspect I love about this. This is one of the things that always fascinates me with dudes. Thinking that there's some perv in the back room that just can't wait to see the naked photo of you. Look, I'm looking at this guy. No one wants to see a naked photo of this dude. And that's one of the things that's always fascinated me when people say, I don't want to do that. They're going to be looking at me. Do you think you're so hot that some man is not going to be able to control himself around you? I mean, my God, that's some serious ego.
And he doesn't want the gay beam machine looking at him, because what they'd find is a unicorn and sparkles.
And you're right. With that mustache, he looks like a walrus.
Huh?
You're listening to the
walrus.
Treehouse.
He's
Visit us
beyond
online
bear.
at treehouseonair.com.
That there's a Brimley.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. On our website, you can get past shows, links, contact info, and more, including the all-new Treehouse Talkback feature, which we will be playing tomorrow. So you can go to treehouseonair.com, click on the microphone on the lower right-hand corner, and you can leave us a message right there, and we'll get it, and then we might use it on the show. Tomorrow, we are going to feature some of those Treehouse Talkback messages right here inside the Treehouse Show. So go to treehouseonair.com today. This is the Treehouse Show. I'm Dan O'Malley. He's Trey Trenholm. Before we get into birthdays, there is one more little part I wanted to touch on inside the gay beam machine worry from the Christian Nationalist Pastors podcast. Whew, that's a lot of titles. So he's afraid of the big gay beam machine at the airport. He doesn't like being patted down either, but he'd rather be patted down than have someone get free naked images of him to do whatever with when he's not around, or keeping in some sort of file somewhere because they're just waiting for him to walk through and going, oh, thank God it's him.
I mean, and maybe, because, sometimes in a pat down, you get a cavity search.
Only if you're really lucky. But you heard in that clip, his co-host interjected to speculate that the gay beam machine scanning process might somehow involve virtual adrenochrome, which is a reference to the chemical compound produced by the oxidation of adrenaline, which plays a big role in QAnon lore about wealthy elites and alleged child trafficking rings. Eisker and Engel, the two hosts, these critical thinkers moved to Tennessee with aims of creating a community of heritage Americans who are depicted in their social media posts with images of Norman Rockwell's idyllic depictions of mid-century life, and they have explicitly stated their longing for the American way of life before women joined the workforce and civil rights ruined everything. I don't care what Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh said throughout their careers. These guys are the real shock jocks.
That's, I mean,
before civil rights ruined everything.
Yeah.
My God. Oh,
I mean, the whole pedophile thing, unfortunately, Epstein has really thrown a wrench in us making complete fun of those idiots.
yeah.
But
these two idiots, they're fair game.
Yeah. The fact you want to go to pre-World War II time and
let's hop in the Wayback Machine to where most of us don't have rights anymore. But me and my mustache too.
And women join the workforce. Now, did they want to? Were they okay with women voting, or were they trying to get that knocked off too?
I don't know their thoughts on the suffrage movement, but I have an idea. Yeah.
So
you know what? Go ahead.
They're not all wrong.
Wow. Sounds like they just got a new listener. Trey's signing up for their Patreon right now. All right, let's salvage this mess with birthdays. Today is Monday, April 14th, 2025. Let's celebrate along with Abigail Breslin. She is 29 today. She's an actress. She played Chanel No. 5 on Scream Queens. Also, Baby in the Dirty Dancing remake. She was also the cute little girl from Signs, the one that left the cups everywhere, and Little Miss Sunshine. And she is the butt-kicking junior zombie killer in Zombieland.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. You're going to recognize her from one of those projects.
Yeah.
So Abigail Breslin turns 29 today. Happy birthday to her.
How was the Dirty Dancing remake?
I love that you assumed I saw it.
How was it?
Meh. I actually didn't see it. I actually have not seen it.
Yeah, that's what
I'm serious. I haven't seen it.
Uh-huh.
I don't have time to watch the remake. My wife makes me watch the original way too often.
Fair enough.
And you know where I am when I watch Dirty Dancing, Trey?
In the corner?
You're damn right. Don't put baby in the corner, but my wife will put me in the corner in a heartbeat. No, I've actually never seen the remake. I really have no idea. Speaking of remakes, are you ready for a Bloodsport remake? I saw the other day one of the new hot Hollywood studios is A24. They're the ones that have been behind some really impressive box office success and critical success projects. A24 is a studio that looks like they just purchased the remake rights for the movie Bloodsport. That was Jean-Claude Van Damme's sort of coming out movie, which also had the guy that played Ogre from Revenge of the Nerds as his best buddy.
Oh, yeah. But do we have a modern day Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yeah, he was in one of the Expendables remakes. He's been in a couple of.
No, but a modern day, like a new version, a action hero, like with the whole martial arts thing.
I got you.
Like,
an up and coming Jean-Claude Van Damme type actor to take the role. Honestly, the closest that I can think of off the top of my head would be maybe Simu Liu, who was in the Marvel movie Shang-Chi, just because of martial arts stuff. But there really has only been one Muscles from Brussels, so maybe they hold an open casting call. I don't know, because he was a relative unknown at the time.
That's true.
So I really don't know if there's another JCVD running around.
Oh, we can always hope.
I do have hope. I'm sure that maybe one of those side characters in the Cobra Kai TV show, maybe one of them, maybe Hawk. There you go. Hawk from Cobra Kai makes the leap into Bloodsport and does the kumite.
All right, maybe they just see if Jean-Claude Van Damme still's got one more in him.
I think they won't have to ask. I think he'll just be on set, banging on the door, begging to be let in.
And Steven Seagal will be waiting in the wings.
Eating
wings.
Craft services.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com. You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
If you like the Treehouse show, then you should give us a follow on social media. At Treehouse On Air is our handle across all the social media platforms. At Treehouse On Air, give us a follow today. I'm Dan. He's Trey. This is the Treehouse show for Monday, April 14th, 2025. We keep discussing on and off, Trey, Star Wars stuff. And because we've talked enough about Star Wars on the show, my phone has heard it. My phone hears all sorts of things. And because of that, it feeds me things that are not of my choosing. It just listens to me and it shows me things when I'm signed online, right? When I'm on Instagram.
Like the hemorrhoid deal from the other day. Let's not blame the show. A lot of this has to do with your personal life.
No, this is show related. The only person I don't talk to my wife about Star Wars stuff very often. You and I, it just seems to naturally come up in conversation. I'm not talking Star Wars with Bella, my Chihuahua. So it's you and me. It's the show's fault. My phone is listening. Mm-hmm. And I'm not completely opposed to it because sometimes it sends me some really interesting gems. Other times it sends me things I didn't want, like the orthopedic old man shoes, or the hemorrhoid serum stuff that we talked about. Yeah. No, this one was actually a little bit friendlier, although it is concerning. Okay. Because of all the conversations we've been having on the show about Star Wars, my phone was listening in and it showed me this on Instagram last night. A Star Wars plot hole theory set to a Bert and Ernie meme. So the photo is Bert and Ernie in their separate beds, right? And at the forefront, you've got Bert wide awake, looking very annoyed because he's trying to go to sleep. And behind him, from his bed, Ernie is saying, in Return of the Jedi, how could the Ewoks have a dress that fit Leia unless they cooked and ate a woman her size? I have seen Return of the Jedi countless times since it came out in 1983. Not once have I thought about where the Ewoks got a dress for Princess Leia until today. Have you?
No, I had never pondered that.
You're thrown right now, aren't you? I am.
It's an interesting point.
Mm-hmm. In Return of the Jedi, how could the Ewoks have a dress that fit Leia unless they cooked and ate a woman her size? Because that was part of the Ewoks introduction, right? They had C-3PO, they had Luke, they had Han, they had Chewie, all being brought in on spits and set over a fire to be roasted and then eaten by the sweet, cuddly little Ewoks.
Yeah, I guess you couldn't, say that they're, had a seamstress in the back. So yeah, that's seems.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, I got it wrong. C-3PO wasn't on the spit. He was the one they had in the throne because they thought he was the god.
Right.
But everyone else was, ready to be turned, roasted, and rotisseried. Which does beg the question, with Chewbacca being rotisseried by the Ewoks, is Chewie?
And
right now,
on that note,
we're the audio version of Bert and Ernie, and I'm keeping Trey awake with stupid stuff. Thanks for hanging out with us inside the Treehouse. I hope you continue to do so, despite that really lame Chewie joke. For all things Treehouse, go to treehouseonair.com. That's treehouseonair.com. You can also find and follow us on social media. For the show, it's at Treehouse on Air. For me, it's at the Dan O'Malley. For Trey, it's at Trey Trenholm 1. We'll see you back in here tomorrow inside the Treehouse.